Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about Love and Marriage Huntsville Season 9, Episode 6.
I need y'all to subscribe, like, share, comment. Are y'all ready for the Melody's Revenge Tour?
That is exactly the perfect way to describe what is going on with Melody.
Let's go.
Martell is still threatening to show his receipts.
Mm-hmm.
Kimmy says every year you go back and say things aren't true, you apologize, and then you bring up the same accusations.
Pretty much.
Martell says, because I'm a dude. Women, they F together, something about who Tisha messed with, and Tisha says that was in college.
Yeah.
And then Destiny says, so let's switch up the questions. Who has shown up for you the most? Marsau said that Martell showed him how not to leave his marriage for a terrible side chick.
Okay, I hear you, Marsau.
Martell accuses everyone of cheating. Martell says that he didn't F Tisha when his boys did, but he could have. And Marsau said, no, you couldn't have. Then Martell goes and talks about how she married the bottom of the barrel, and Marsau was heavier and uglier and all these different things. Destiny leaves saying that everybody's being too messy.
Yeah.
Tisha don't know why Destiny's leaving because Destiny's the one who's asking all the questions. Kimmy's upset because Tisha is catching strays. It's just chaos. Marsau says Martell is trying to get him to fight him, but he won't. He tells Tisha to leave. Maurice is talking to Martell as he's about to drive away and tells him, you know, this is what you do. You get sensitive, you lash out. And he doesn't believe that Martell has any proof because he doesn't believe Martell would be able to withhold any information long enough or have that much restraint.
For 6 years?
For all these years with the way that Martell lashes out. Martell says as he's driving away, if he's lying about anything, then take him to court.
No, we're not going to take you to court. You're already in court with your wife and things of that nature. What are your thoughts on this crazy, chaotic scene?
It was a melee. It just got really... It was already ugly to begin with, but I just got uglier and uglier talking about, I think they were, because it was hard to hear because a lot of things were getting bleeped out, but it sounds like they were talking about Tisha's sexual history of when she was in college and who she slept with and names and all these types of things. And I don't see what that had anything to do with the accusations that Martell was talking about. Martell just gets low and dirty and starts talking about things that have no relation to the conversation at hand. And it makes me just wonder how Martell has any friends. Like, he's really not that great of a guy. He does make up stuff, lies, embellishes stuff, or pulls things from 20 years ago into the present as if they're cheating on each other present day. Martell, to me, Martell isn't worth anybody's time.
I don't care what nobody say. This season is combined with last season, so to me this is one big season. It's the end of the season once the reunion shows. Okay, and what did I say at the beginning of last season? I said this will be Martell's last season. And what you see is a crash out. What he's doing is, look, I'm not going to be on here much longer. So I'm going to basically crash out. And I agree with Marsau 100% of he's trying to get me to fight him. And Marsau has more restraint than I do, right? Because truth be told, I'm not fighting Martell because of what he said about my wife. Whatever my wife's sexual history is none of my business. You get what I'm saying? I'm fighting him just off because I want to. You get what I'm saying? So, here's the thing: you got Martell over there trying to antagonize Marsau while Marsau's talking to his wife, talking to Tisha, and this is the only thing that makes me upset about these type of scenes. Tisha, I understand that you was the spotlight was on you, but Marsau has been training you and teaching you since season 1 how not to jump when people tell you to jump, when not to bark when people call you a dog. You get what I'm saying? And I understand, hey, Christopher, be nice on Tisha. I'm not gonna be nice on Tisha because I've been saying the same thing on Tisha the whole time, and my whole thing is we have been trying to tell you do not respond. People are looking for a response. And then we going to get the scene where they are in the jewelry store and she's talking about how it's getting to her. And Marsau is basically like, don't look at it. Don't watch it. But to get back on Martell, he's crashing out. I was looking at all the cast mates' faces. Nell is tired of him. Fletcher's tired of him. Kimmy's tired of him. Destiny's tired of him. I do kind of agree with Tisha, though, with this. He was like, Destiny, you know what type of person Martell is. How do you not know these type of questions or anything like that would not basically stir the pot? Hell, I think y'all had a little pregame last episode where you kind of knew where Martell was coming from.
Right.
So, like, don't try to make it seem like, oh my goodness, this is too much. Well, it was too much. I will give her a little bail to get her out of jail to say you probably wasn't expecting this, but you definitely wasn't. You wasn't expecting this, but why did you expect peace from Martell? He's been antagonizing Melody even today. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, I really don't know what to I really do expect Kim to be isolated from the group, to be honest. And one thing I don't understand is y'all, the viewers, the people who comment, not just on my videos, but just like in general, the whole thing of, I believe Martell is telling the truth. How? Like I don't understand that point of view, because we are so desperate to get some dirt on Marsau that we're willing to get it from the dirtiest guy. Like are we that low that we are willing to believe Martell? We know Martell to be a liar. We know him to be an antagonizer. We know him to do dirty things such as RP. We know him to do all these things.
Cheater, deceiver.
But yet we are willing to be like, you know what? I believe that because I want Marsau to cheat on Tisha just so we can show Tisha that Marsau's really a sexist, misogynistic guy, and we believe Martell on this part only. I'm not that dirty. I will put it this. I'm not willing to get my hands dirty. I don't believe nothing come out of Martell's mouth. Period.
Absolutely
nothing. Mm-hmm. Marsau's marriage is his business. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying?
All right. So we move on. Tisha is looking at some wedding bands. Okay. Marsau arrives and she thinks it's time to get him a new ring.
Yeah.
He is fine with just a simple band, but they are talking about how they need to get their rings and watches and stuff cleaned. He actually wants to hand down his watch to one of his children. I think the son, like once he turns like 18 or something like that.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, and he's talking about how he feels naked without the watch.
Yeah, listen, Marsau is a gaslighter, man. I say all that to say, he's a gaslighter, okay?
Yeah. And Tisha says, but not the ring. He's like, no. She asks him, what does the ring symbolize to him? And he says the ring doesn't symbolize much to him. It's just a sign of obedience.
Okay.
Tisha says that it symbolizes love and commitment.
Okay.
Marsau tells her, look, you don't think people look at me and know that I'm married?
That is true.
And Tisha says, I mean, when you don't wear your wedding ring, they probably don't. And if he wears his ring, then maybe that would give people pause when it comes to talking about the status of their marriage.
I was with you to that part.
Yeah.
That's not giving Martell pause. That's not giving us pause. That's not giving nobody pause when it comes to talking about your marriage.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to just share some thoughts about
Go ahead.
the fact that Marsau doesn't wear the ring like that.
Marsau is Marsau is a gaslighter.
Yeah. And I think it can be a couple of things. One, he works construction sites.
That's fair.
And I think that part of, and this is me giving him bail here, y'all.
Just a little bail to get out of jail.
And I think part of it is that in his day-to-day, he might be accustomed to not wearing the ring because he's going on these construction sites. He doesn't want a expensive ring to be like around all that, getting knocked or whatever the case may be. I can see that. They do have silicone rings, Marsau. Okay.
Yeah. But they just made those.
Okay. They've been around long enough.
Okay.
All right. So that's one thing. And then the other thing, I feel like, even though Tisha has expressed that she would like Marsau to wear his ring, I think he gets a rise out of the viewership seeing that he doesn't wear his ring and them talking about it, but him saying, I can do what I want to do. This is my marriage.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, he's hurting his wife because his wife, of course, wants him to wear his ring. Yeah. But I think that she is also fueled a lot by the fact that people are judging him for that.
Exactly, 100%.
And that's like another thing of why he doesn't want to wear it, because you only want me to wear it because they make you feel uncomfortable about it. And you need to stop worrying about what other people think. And I'm just like, I hear you, Marsau, but you're hurting your wife. The same way like when he would play around, like when they asked who he went to Atlanta with, and he said a friend, and then she started breaking down because he wouldn't just be straight about it, and he was like, I was with Chris. Yeah, you should know that. And it's just like, but clearly you're hurting your feelings, but he's trying to teach her at the same time, don't worry about what these people thinking. But it's frustrating when he plays these games.
I think
it is.
Well, just for starters, hold up your left hand, Blair.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm at home.
Yeah. but my thing is, like, the ring, it you can say it symbolizes love and commitment, But at the end of the day, there's a lot of people who wear the rings who are not in love and who is not committed, right?
True.
So let me talk about Marsau to your perfect point, right? I think what he's doing is he's like, Tisha, if it's not one thing, it's going to be another thing, right? Basically, the state of this marriage or the state of your insecurity has been motivated by what you read, the comments, right? And with them keep talking about me not wearing a ring, if before this marriage, or not before this marriage, if before we started filming, you had no problem with me wearing a ring, I may have lost it while we were filming, but if you never had a problem with me not wearing a band, but now you have a problem and that's motivated by somebody else, he is the type of person that he's not going to let it just like, let bygones be bygones. He's going to be like, no, we going to teach you some security out of this insecurity, and you're going to learn to be secure with me not wearing a wedding band. If the juice worth the squeeze, to me, no. To me, no. To me, no.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
But to other people, I can see why it can be worth it, because he's looking at it as, if you're insecure about this and you let other people be insecure about this, then guess what? You're not going to please the people that comment about you.
Yeah.
So basically he's saying that I can wear the ring, but they go find something else. And they're going to say, oh, maybe he don't wear it all the time and things of that nature. Now, because he does work with his hands, it is, it makes sense for him not to wear the ring.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna say who, but there's a firefighter and things like that, and he don't wear his ring because you know why? It's metal. You get what I'm saying? So that's where silicone coming at. But I would think if I'm a firefighter, the last thing I'm thinking about is my ring. I'm trying to, make sure my job is secure and people's lives are safe.
Right.
Now, when it comes to me, let me address the watch thing, right? I can understand why he would feel naked without a watch, even though he is being semantics right here,
yes.
right? Because he's playing around, but he's saying it because he knows what button to push with Tisha, right? With a guy, especially from that generation, he's probably been wearing watches longer than he's been wearing a ring, and a watch completes the outfit of a guy, right? Like with me, I don't sleep with jewelry on, period, right? Once I come in the house, I take it off. There's been times where I forgot my ring. That did not mean that I forgot my love and commitment. That just meant that I forgot my ring. But he is basically poking at Tisha, basically saying, no, it's just obedience because you want it. As a matter of fact, it's just obedience because they want it. You get what I'm saying? Now, when it comes to Tisha and these, you haven't read it yet. You haven't read about the...
You want me to continue?
Yeah, go ahead.
So they talk about how it's been a hard 7 years. Yeah. And the last year in particular has been pretty hard.
It was.
They've discussed what it would look like to not be together, and she's happy that they're deciding to stick together.
Yeah.
He talks about how he always loved how she carried herself and how she was secure in herself, didn't allow people to change her. Yeah. But the influence of others that has... influenced her recently is something that he did not like seeing. Mm-hmm. Tisha tells him that it just gets tiring, the constant criticism and negativity, and it really took her through a season of depression.
That's true.
And Marsau tells her that you don't have to read what people say. If you know I love you, why listen to what other people have to say?
Yeah.
Then they talk about how Tisha spoke to Destiny and apologized on behalf of the craziness of the field day. And Marsau admits that he can apologize for his portion. He did not have to get that low when it came to dealing with Martell.
That's true.
And, Marsau has come to the understanding that if you'll do all that you did to the mother of your children, there's no telling what you'll do to me.
Yeah. And also just one more thing about the ring that it just came back to memory.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of women, especially my woman, right, has a misconception on what men go through in our everyday life, right? Because y'all love us so much that y'all think women is just falling at my feet and things like that. Wear your ring because that's a woman repellent. That is not true. You know what's a woman repellent? Me not approaching them. You get what I'm saying? Like it has.
Sometimes it could be a magnet, depending on.
Depending, right? But I think I think sometimes. And I'm not talking about my lady here, but I think some people think like when they guy go outside that they are beating them off with a shoe. No, most of the time I'm beating off guys. You get what I'm saying? Guys that's in the way and things of that nature. It's not the movies. It's not like I have to beat them off with a stick and things of that nature. So that's why I can kind of get what Marsau is saying of like, do you think people look at me and don't think I'm married? He basically saying like, look at me, I'm bald, I'm wary, I'm older, but at the same time, you drive that nice Mercedes. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? So I think for Marsau's age, which kind of it's kind of, listen, I don't want to give him bail. I think for Marsau's age, a ring on his finger would be a magnet. That does not mean he should not wear the ring.
Exactly.
I'm saying two separate things here.
Yeah.
I think it would be a magnet, but I do not think that he should go around, if it bothers his wife this much, without going wearing a ring. Now with Tisha, I can empathize with you, but at the same time, I'm gonna give you a little blame. Because even though things have been hard for you these past 7 years, I do not want to act like you did not contribute to some of the negativity that comes your way, right? And when I say that, I mean, Tisha, you come outside with these reunions, you come out with the puppets, you come out with all these dramatic, animated, whenever you're in a discussion, you're animated, you're loud and things like that. You come off as if you can take it because you dish it back out, right? And my thing is, if things are really getting to you, if you really don't want to be in a negative light and things of that nature, right? I think you should really take the approach of, you know what? Whenever these type of situations happen with like the whole Martell and Marsau thing, I'm not going to say nothing, right? But I can understand why you may feel what you feel, because since you've been on the show, your marriage has been basically under the spotlight. But also it has been spotlight under people who are now divorced. Melody has been saying since season 1, Tisha gonna leave you behind, right? Just for her to be divorced, right? And I think that's where Marsau is coming from. You need to stop talking to people, because I remember before the show, before we took this journey, you was a confident woman that I loved, and I love that about you. But now you're second guessing yourself because you let yourself be motivated, and you let your security be basically attacked by people you don't know, and that is not that close to you. You get what I'm saying? So I can kind of see where Marsau's coming from, but I do empathize with Tisha that, you know, like, I do feel bad that you felt depressed, that you are looking for some type of like help, but people are really talking negative about you.
And honestly, I feel like no matter what Tisha did, they were going to have a spotlight on their relationship.
Yeah.
I think that Tisha at times has tried to do the no response thing. She tried to fight back. She's like tried everything and how to deal with the situation, and it just gets to her. And I don't think everybody is built for the spotlight, because it can be a lot and it can be very heavy. So I don't blame her for being affected by it the way that she is, but I just wish that she would, I don't know. She might need to go to Dr. Francis for some one-on-one counseling. And the only reason I say that is because it's unfortunate that the outside comments bleed into the reality of her marriage. Yeah. And it doesn't seem like it's enough for Marsau to tell her to not worry about it. It seems like she really needs to find a way to cope with that. But Marsau could help as well. Like, he doesn't give her enough just Hail Marys in a way. You know, I don't even know if that's like a right.
I'm about to say, are we Catholic now? Does he not give her enough Hail Marys?
No, I'm just saying, like, he doesn't, like, just let her have it. Like, let her have the ring. Okay,
but the ring,
just do it. But the ring, you know what I'm saying? He doesn't just let her have things. Okay,
and listen, and this is come on, this is bleeding into real relationships, right? It's kind of hard to just let them have it, because when you know the source, you're like, but it's not going to fix it. You think it's going to
give her something.
You think it's going to make you feel good, but you're going to feel bad Tuesday, because you're going to read something and you're going to be motivated by something. And I don't think she need to go to Dr. Francis, because you're still talking about TV. Tisha may need to be off the show. Like you can't help what's in you, and I don't want to call it insecurity, but that's the only word that I can use. That's the only word her husband used and things like that. I think Marsau, that y'all don't give, the reason why y'all feel so, what's the word, emotionally charged about Marsau, because Marsau does reality TV real well. Like, when he's on TV, he knows what button to push. Like, that's why Lil something as simple as, I feel naked without my watch. Like, he knows that's going to get the people going, and that's going to get them to watch. I think Marsau is actually pretty good at reality TV. Tisha, she tried playing reality TV, but once it's, you can't change your stripes if you're a zebra. And with her, she's just emotional and things get to her. So I just think this is a wrong platform for her to find some type of peace. Which kind of comes to your point, maybe Marsau can help her find a middle ground of like, hey, get the ban. You get what I'm saying? But I don't think talking to Dr. Francis on TV is going to help. I think Tisha actually doing what she was doing before she was on TV will help. She's trying to do things to help her. She's trying to get her own office. She's trying to dress differently. She's trying to be in shape differently. She's trying to be around people differently. She's trying to be her own businesswoman. All these things to just basically suffice a hunger that she did not have herself that was put on her by the audience, by us. So that's why I'm like, once she get back to her regular life before Love and Marriage Huntsville existed, I think that's where she's at peace at, in my opinion. But I don't know.
Okay.
These are people I don't know.
So we'll move on. Melody and Tisha end up meeting up. Melody brings up Maurice's DUI, and Tisha says, they were just happy that he was safe and no one was hurt.
Listen here, Melody. Tisha, I think you came here to have lunch with Melody. Melody came here with a purpose.
Yeah.
And you could tell.
She says, well, how amazing would it have been for that dialogue to have happened? Yeah. Instead, she saw the next day online, everybody was talking about free Reese, and he had a bottle of liquor in his hand.
Crazy.
Tisha says that, yes, that was probably a mistake. Mm-hmm. And Mel says, well, drunk driving is not a mistake. It's a choice. Uh-oh. She lost her grandmother to drunk driving, so it's very close to her. Mel knows what it feels like to have your husband embarrass you. Mm-hmm. She talks about how she checked on Kimmy, and she brings up how the people are saying he had red lipstick on his lips. Yeah. Tisha brings up the mugshot, and she's convinced that it was probably whatever he was drinking.
They're like, you see any red lipstick? I did not see it.
No, I mean, I could see like a little pink or discoloration or whatever.
It looked like his lips.
But I don't think you could say it was red lipstick. Yeah. Mel said that, is it true? Was it at noon? And Tisha's already gathering her belongings because she's leaving. She's like, girl, I ain't trying to do this with you. You're trying to investigate, and I'm not about to play these games with you. So Mel thinks that the family has a pact going on to not talk about Maurice's situation.
They don't need to have a pact. They are family.
Yeah.
Like there don't need to be a discussion that we're not going to talk about this. Like, that's her brother-in-law. Melody, this is Melody's revenge tour. She said it before this scene. She said, I am going to each of those that was on that trip for me and things like that went on that 30-day trip, it felt like, for us, and I'm going to talk to each of them. Melody, I can see your point, but at the same time, this going to be bad. Especially after this episode, I can see how you and Martell are alike. Like, y'all create scenarios, and y'all create these type of situations. And for you to try to say that there was red lipstick on Maurice's lips, and then we looking at the mugshot, you made me pull up the mugshot, right? And she was like, no, it was under his lips. There was no red lipstick on Maurice's face, right? Trying to create a narrative that, it's already bad enough that he was caught being DUI. And now it comes off as if you're creating narratives to make people question their marriage because your marriage is gone, right? And I can understand why you may feel emotional about it because you lost your grandmother to a drunk driver. But this is not your grandmother. And I'm not saying that to dismiss the fact that you lost your grandmother. But you was not motivated by this. Your whole motivation of this conversation wasn't because I lost my grandmother to drunk driving. It was to plant seeds and to find information. And in that way, I can see how you and Martell are kind of alike. Martell liked, not like the real Martell, but like a character trait. Once you've been together for that long, it's kind of hard for y'all not to have the same characteristics in some way.
Well, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so what I will say is that I don't think Melody is the originator of that theory. I think it was on the internet, and she brought that to the show. The thing is with Melody, a lot of things people have brought things from the internet to Melody to have her answer to. So I think that's why she brought that up. And basically, this is what y'all do to me. These are the random things y'all say to me about what's been done or what I've done. And I'm supposed to answer to all these crazy things from the internet. And so she brings it up because that's what they do. So I think that is just Melody kind of getting her lick back with all of the types of questions and conversations that she's had to have surrounding her marriage. And I get where Tisha's coming from as well, where she says, Mel, like, you're the one who talked about your own marriage. Yeah, she did, but y'all also poked and pried, and I feel like made it a little bit more hurtful than it had to be at times.
Maybe
so.
And I can accept that from what you just gave me the perspective.
Yeah,
if that's what if what she's doing is motivated by y'all did this to me, then bringing up your dead grandmother is even more disrespectful in my eyes. Because I'm like, don't try to make it seem like this is a personal thing because I lost my grandmother, where really this is just a revenge tour.
But I think it can be both. I think that it can be her making them pay for what they did to her, and also the fact that you guys are kind of treating it like a joke. People lose their lives to things like this every day. Like, it's not funny. And he's, you know, I think it can be two things at once.
Matter of fact, yeah, you're right. It can be both. And maybe I'm just looking at it as, I'm just like, I don't know what it is, and this is just how life is. Have you ever had, it's kind of hard to explain, so let me try. You seen other people do something, right? And they don't get caught doing it, or they don't get in trouble for doing it. But when you do it, you get in trouble?
Yeah.
That's how I feel like watching this with Melody.
Yeah.
It feels like everybody did her wrong, and time went on and time went by. Everybody got comfortable with the divorce and things like that. And now she's choosing years down the line, seasons down the line, to finally get her lick back. It kind of feel like, ugh. You know, for some reason. It's like, hold on. I seen everybody like steal from the store. Why did they catch me, the last one? And it just feels kind of like, truth be told, I hold Melody in high regard. It just feels below her. And that's why I said it kind of gave off Martell. It gave off like bad character. And my thing is, I can understand that she did not feel supported in her marriage, but for her to go on and expect nobody to talk about her marriage when she's the one who brought her marriage up on the show, in interviews and things like that. Melody, even though I hold you in high regard, you are not exempt from being talked about by your castmates on the show, especially when that's the main topic of the show. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. So Destiny and Martell meet up.
Yeah.
Martell says he kind of apologizes for being overly hostile at the event, but he asks her, why did he get all those questions? And Destiny tells him, well, I knew you felt away, and it was for him to try to move past the issues, but it seemed like Marsau was stuck on not respecting Martell.
Stop right there. Based off of that statement alone, what both of them just said, do you agree more with Tisha with how she said, like, Destiny kind of knew that this was going to happen? Or are you kind of like,
I don't fully believe Destiny knew exactly how it would play out, so I don't hold Destiny accountable for the way Martell reacted.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah.
With me, I only hold her accountable with, you think that highly of Martell that he could come to a resolve?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know how he has friends. I don't know how Destiny can sit and have a conversation.
I don't understand. I don't understand that logic. You said, I knew you had issues, and I just wanted to get it out there because, like, I thought you was gonna be able to like settle it. What have Martell settled? He haven't settled anything
in his life
on the show. Like, so that's why I'm like, I'm lost right there. But go ahead.
Yeah. Well, Chris and Marsau also are meeting up. Marsau thinks Huntsville is ready for some contemporary homes, so he wants Chris to check in with his clients just to see if they can do some kind of cross business and see if they can have people trickle, you know, to the new homes that he's building. Chris is wondering just kind of how everything fell apart with Martell, and Marsau says Martell runs his mouth and says anything.
That's true.
Back to the conversation with Destiny, Martell tells her that he's not a liar. He will prove it, and Marsau needs to prove that he's not a liar. The charges were a trigger for him because it wasn't a revenge type situation, but Marsau didn't believe him when he said that wasn't the case.
What? What do you mean? Like, it's so funny how liars will be like, it's up to you to prove to me that you're not a liar. I didn't do anything. You're the one that have a restraining order. You're the one that's going through court. You're the one that didn't even let your friends know, the Fletchers, right? That like when y'all was going through this custody case, that they was gonna be called up and things like that's why it goes back to Blair's side. Like, you haven't shown yourself, forget to be truthful, just to be a good, honest friend or to think about someone else besides yourself.
Exactly.
So why would I believe anything that comes out your mouth? Why would you tell me you're not a liar and say that it's on the other party to prove to them or to prove to us that they are not a liar? No one's calling Marsau a liar. So Marsau don't got to prove anything, to be honest, in my opinion.
And then that also is what frustrates me with Destiny's friendship with Martell, because Destiny got a divorce from her first husband, and we're not super clear about why the divorce. There have been some allegations online, which we don't know if this is like a true issue of people wondering if maybe her child that she had wasn't her husband's child. And Martell is over here making jokes about how her baby looks like him. And if I were Destiny, I would not want to have a friend playing around with something like that.
Because you're poking at me.
Because you're poking at a really hurtful situation. She over here getting all, thrown into a tizzy about Moses, while Martell is making jokes about why she might have had her divorce. Like, this is disgusting.
Yeah.
So Marsau says that Martell lies, and he also, talking to Chris, called your wife a side chick from time to time, and he says that you basically have to tell people how to treat you, and he is not going to have people who talk to him like that in his life.
Let's keep going.
Destiny didn't like how Tisha was brought into the conversation, and Martell says, well, they're one. She should have told Marsau to stop talking.
Do you see what I mean?
He also says that she accepts stuff that he does. Tisha and Melody try to teach folks how to respectfully cheat. Destiny doesn't necessarily believe that, and Martell says that if he says it, then believe it.
No, I won't. Let's keep going.
Marsau's relationship with Martell is done. The respect is gone. And Martell is fine with going lower if it calls for that.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, for someone to go lower, that means, listen, I have a lie factory. I can create and produce lies at the speed of Amazon. You get what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, he doesn't care about what lie he said. He doesn't care about what the lies hurt or who the lies hurt. And the fact that he did bring Tisha in and tried to use the excuse of they all won, it don't matter. It just shows that he's just trying to feed y'all, basically us, the viewers. He's trying to feed us basically, oh, I know Marsau's cheating on Tisha. So guess what? He just trying to give us what we want. Oh, yeah, I definitely believe Martell. I definitely believe that they've been together doing things. And that's when Marsau said something in the first scene. He was like, me and you never slept with the same girl. I never went behind you and things of that nature. Listen, when a grown man start complimenting, not complimenting, when a grown man starts talking about another man's appearance, talking about you ugly, your body's bad built, and things of that nature, basically how Martell was talking about Marsau, you shouldn't believe nothing that comes out of his mouth. Because what he's trying to do is basically what Marsau said. He's trying to get me to fight him. And I'm not going to fight him. Because me personally, I don't think Marsau has fought in years. So I don't think he should get in that ring of fighting. But my whole thing is, like, if you're not emotionally charged up about it, you should not get in a fight about it. Because obviously Martell is. You get what I'm saying?
So we see Melody meeting up with Trisha.
I'm not going to hold you. I almost turned the TV off watching this. I'm not. Why though? It was so cringy.
Why?
I couldn't. It was like watching an accident, like over and over again. Like it's almost like watching the same car get in an accident all the way down the street. I almost didn't finish the scene.
Yeah.
That's how bad it was.
So she asked her how she's acclimating to the group. And Trisha says that she's hung out with the Scotts, but it would be nice if the whole group was together.
Yeah.
She didn't say bye to Mel on the vacation because she felt people just made it awkward. Trish was frustrated and angry about how people were talking about the Martell situation.
Oh, boy.
And Mel tells her, well, you helped to make it awkward.
Here we go.
You didn't tell some things correctly to your friends, and it eventually came out. Trisha did own up to not being honest at first, but she needed to ask Martell his motive as far as why he would even bring up that she went to the house. Mel says it wasn't odd that he asked you to come to the house to train him and you didn't know him. Like that wasn't the odd part.
Please. So
they get into this conversation about what house did you go to, around was the time frame, what year was it? So it was 2020. She didn't think it was odd that he would ask her to train him because they knew of each other, because she knew his brother.
Okay.
The house that she went to was a lighthouse. It was up in the mountains somewhere.
Yeah, Mel that's like, oh, what house? What did it look like? What street?
Yeah.
You know?
But Mel knows that she's being vague, and she also knows that Trish likes to be right on the line of honesty and dishonesty. It sounds like she didn't know where she went. And she asked if they had conversations about the training before the trip. And Trisha says yes.
Oh, boy.
And Mel says, well, you didn't think to pull me to the side before you came on the trip that I invited you to. And that's where we end.
She was like, it was a driveway. Hey, what does a driveway look like? They kind of all look the same. Oh, no, up in the mountains, they don't look the same.
Was it summer? Was it fall?
And that's what I'm like.
It was a little chilly outside.
And she was like, it's not really chilly around that time of year. Listen, this is what you do, Trisha. When someone got you caught up in that Charlotte's web like that, you knock over a glass, you flip the table, and you run out. That's what you're supposed to cause a diversion and basically not sit there and allow yourself to be cross-examined by Melody. What's her
Shari.
Shari or Rogers, whatever her name is, right? Mm-hmm. You allowed yourself basically to be cross-examined by the female Johnny Cochran of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Mm-hmm. And it was hard to watch because even I knew that you was lying. And I was like, Melody. And the thing about it is, usually when you catch somebody in a lie, you kind of just let them go.
Yeah.
So they can have a little bit of dignity. Melody did not want you to have no type of integrity or dignity by the end of it. She knew you was lying by the first question. She asked you 7 more.
Yeah.
She was like, what driveway? Season? House? Street? Like, what was your thoughts during this scene?
My thoughts were you saying she need to flip over the table and stuff like that. I was like, you got 2 answers. You can either stand on business and say what you did, and you did what you did because you grown and you wasn't. Well, you was married, but we're gonna say you wasn't together with your man.
Yeah, because
she's still married.
She still might be married today for all we know. Who knows?
You was free to do what you wanted. How about I put it like that? Mm-hmm. So it's up to Martell to maintain his vows to his marriage.
Oh, okay.
But I will say, if Trish knew that they were married, that is kind of nasty.
That's
and then
nasty.
to go on a girls' trip, I don't know.
And then
Trish is kind of dirty.
And then Ken watching, so it's kind of like
I'm just like, because I know she had to like have been around to know he was married.
Who
Anyway,
knows? Okay, let's keep going.
Either stand in your dirt or tell her it's none of your business, okay? But to be on the line of, I don't know if it was a lighthouse or, you know, if it was a dark house or if I was up the mountains or if I was by the beach or, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, Trish, you're better off standing in your dirt or tell her it's none of your business.
Yeah.
So
like, flip a table next time, because it was really hard to watch. Because I'm not a big fan of Trisha on the show. I actually think this is her first and only season on the show. But and truth be told, if that's the case, and I only think that because of Stormi. I think Stormi gone. I think Trisha's like, y'all not really a group. And then on top of that, like this little drama with Martell, I'm out. But I think Trisha leaving the show, I think that speaks more on the show, because truth be told, we get
leaving?
No. This is my prediction.
Oh, okay.
I think this will be her first and only season on the show.
Okay.
Right? And I'm like, hey, Love and Marriage Huntsville, if that is the case, we need a revamp of the cast. Because now people can't even stay on the show longer than 3 seasons or longer than 4 seasons. You got people who's on the show who've been on for a while leaving the show, and then you have people who just joined who might leave the show. That's just my opinion, because she is close with Stormi, and I'm like, she ain't filming with Stormi, so I don't see her being on the show. Now to this. I like your point about just staying in it. You got all those muscles for what?
Exactly.
Like.
Because what's she really going to do to you?
That's what I'm saying. I'm
like, what are we going to do to you?
I'm like, just stand in it. It would have been much easier and much better to watch than what we saw.
You grown?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Put those muscles to work. Be like, yes, I did. I slept with your husband, right? Or I slept with your ex-husband.
And I went on your vacation.
And I was all up in your house.
And
Who knows? What are you gonna do to me? Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? Like sometimes you gotta let people know, like, oh, you thought you had me. No, I'm a demon. I got you.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? like. But nah, Melody is on her revenge. So, in truth be told, I can't blame her.
Yeah.
I can't blame her. Anything else?
That's all I got.
Listen, I need y'all to subscribe, like, share, comment. We will try to be back on regular scheduled programming with this show, releasing immediately after the show on Saturday when it comes on. I've been busy and I've been tired. And I know y'all been asking. The ultimatum will be out next week, as in this upcoming week and things of that nature. So just bear with us, and we are still gonna be around for y'all during the Christmas holiday. I'm hoping, I'm planning. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we see y'all around.
Bye.